Welcome, I'm JV with Cyber and You, and today we're going to go over how to create our very first domain controller. And the reason we would want to create a domain controller is that's one way for us to give out access to certain computer resources, be it file shares, be it print servers, be it just able to communicate from one computer to another in order to do any number of things. So the first thing you would have to do, and I'm not going to show this right now, is set a static IP to your domain controller, and then two, the local administrator password is going to have to be fairly secure, and Windows recommends and or requires it to be at least 7 characters long, and within that it has to have at least some uppercase characters, some lowercase, some digits, and a couple of special characters. So once you did that, you're ready to go with the prerequisites, and then you just begin it by going to the bottom left here on the little Windows icon, going to Server Manager itself, and then clicking Manage at the top right, and then Add Roles and Features. And then there you'll click Next again, select the server you want to actually install that role on. I only have one, so I'm going to go ahead and click Next on that. And then we're going to select the Active Directory Domain Services, and then this little pop-up will show up, and this will just tell you all the extra tools and roles it's going to be installing along with that role that you had just selected. And we're going to keep it all, include management tools if applicable, click Add Features, click Next, click Next, click Next, and then Install. This isn't actually going to give us a domain controller just yet. This is just going to give us the role in order to then actually configure that role and turn this server into a domain controller. Once installation is complete, you're going to want to click Close, and then you're going to go to the notification at the top right here, left click on it, and then promote the server to a domain controller. Now you're going to have 3 options here. They're all pretty self-explanatory. You're going to have add a domain controller to an existing domain. Since this is our very first domain, that's not exactly an option for us. Same thing with the second one. It's for an existing forest, and what we want to do is add a new forest. So I'm going to click on that and then call it cyber.u. So that'll be my actual domain name, is going to be cyber.u. I apologize. And then click Next. And then you're going to be presented with a couple of domain controller options. You're going to see the forest functional level. Generally, if you're creating a brand new domain, you're going to want to keep it at the highest available level, which is Windows Server 2016 for ourselves. And then the domain functional level, same thing, Windows Server 2016, since that is the latest version that I currently possess. So then keep it as a domain name system, or DNS server, global catalog as well. And then you're going to want to type in a directory service restore password. And then click Next, Next, and then the NetBIOS domain name. You can change this, but it'll most likely be cyber for me automatically, just because I called it cyber.u earlier. And like I said, you can change it if you would like. And then click Next. And then it should show us 3 path names for your database folder, your log files, and your sysvol. For demonstration purposes, keep everything at its default, but if you had an actual production live domain, the most likely outcome from this would be you changing where your log file folders go to, and same with the sysvol, potentially the database as well. But you can also change these things at a later date. But for right now, we're just going to keep everything as is. Click Next again, and then this will do the prerequisite check to ensure that we accomplished everything up until this point correctly before we can actually install the domain controller or promote this server to a domain controller. And since all the prerequisite checks passed successfully, we can now click Install. If you had any errors, it would tell you right here what you had to do in order to correct it, and then you correct it and go through the process once more, and then actually click Install. And then it'll go through the actual installation. It'll tell you what it's doing, and this can take a while. So grab yourself a cup of coffee or get yourself some breakfast, lunch, whatever it ends up being, and just sit back and relax in the meantime. Once the installation is complete, you should be greeted with a screen similar to this. It'll be your domain name / whatever your account name ends up being. And then you can just log in with your password. And with this, you have successfully established your very first domain controller. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you in future videos.